true and faithful relation of what passed for many years between Dr. John Dee and some spirits. 1659 is when Meric Casaubon had this printed. Wednesday, January 15th, we went from Stettin to Stargard. Sunday, January 19th, we came to Posen. Ecclesia Cathedralis Postnaniensis Fundabatur Anno 1025. I really should learn my Latin numbers. Per when Castellum Regum Christianum Factum Cujus Sepulcrum in inferiore part ecclesia extat lepida egregii extructum. Saturday, January 25th. Oh, this keen done that weird. Don't even know what that's supposed to be. Magas te thanata dia tas to Edwardus Kelly ad Ucias Egalhus Enantion Emen I.e. Magnum Adei vita periculum per iniquitatem Edwardus Kelly contra me. Sunday, January 26th. In Visibum Bibliothecum Ecclesia Cathedralis. Monday, January 27th. Rixae cum Oxore Brues. Rixa cum Uxore breves. Tuesday, January 28th, we went from Posen. Thursday, January 30th, we came to Conan Town over the long and dangerous bridge with much cumber at one broken piece by reason of the huge cakes office which lie there. Saturday, February 1st, we passed the dangerous way of ice, having 25 men cut the ice for our coaches to come through above 2 English miles long, but for all the great help, we could not get to the new city that night, by reason of the great water and ice hard by the town, which was broken over the banks into the meadows very deep. Sunday, February 2nd, we came over the great water, the ice being most part, with that night's wind driven away out of our passage. Monday, February 3rd, we came to Shattuck to Lascaux town, and there were lodged in the provost, his fair house by the church, and then we have a gap of over a week. Interesting enough, this is the start of the spring quarter, where the gap is. Because, Candlemas is, before that. Imbolc really starts the cross-quarter night, not February night. This May night, February night, November night, this is just not what they did. The ancients. Prima actio apud lasco, Tuesday, February 11th, Stello vetere ast 21, Stello nova. He said, after our prayers of the 7 Psalms, there's a lot of grimoires that talk about using these 7 Psalms, by the way. And my particular invitation and calling for God, his help, and the ministry of his good angels, after I say more than half an hour space attendance. Edward Kelly, presumably, seemed and thought that he felt a thing about his head, as if it clawed with hawk's claws. It continued no long time, and toward the easterly corner of my great study above seemed to Edward Kelly clouds to appear, far off as at a quarter of a mile distance, and then appeared a sea, endless one way, and a haven mouth with a river which fell or ran into that mouth, and besides that river, doing down into the haven, did another river appear by running into the sea without any haven, making or having. The water of this sea is not like sea water, but rather like quicksilver. Now cometh a mountain, and swimmeth upon that main sea. Now that mountain seemeth to rest and stand before that river mouth, that is, by the haven. A voice said, Measure me. Edward Kelly said, Now seemeth a great thing, like a man to stand with one leg in the foresaid river, and with the other in the said sea, by having a corner of the id between his said legs. His right leg is in the river, his left leg in the sea. So he's like some sort of living temperance card, right? The tarot card. Usually with the S nowadays. Let's see. His right leg seemeth gold, and his left leg lead. The mountain standeth before him. His legs are like 2 posts of the substance of the rainbow. He is very high. He hath a face with many eyes and noses, but not distinctly to be discerned. His body seemeth to be red brass. He standeth with his arms abroad, and no hands appear. His right arm is of the color of silver. His left arm seemeth to be black, twinkling. His head is much of the color of that sea wherein his left leg standeth. Now beginneth a right hand to appear, a fair right hand. A voice said to this man, Measure the water. He answered, It is 250 cubits. A voice said, Measure that foot of earth. Edward Kelly said, He pointeth to the mountain. And answered, It is a cube twice doubled in himself, in a straight line. All those double cube altar motifs, Edward Kelly said, One speaketh behind me, saying, Measure the sea also. Which was answered, It is 750 cubits. And to the side, 3 and 4, efficunt 12, and 3, and in set efficit 9, nunc 9 and 12, efficunt 108. Okay. D said, He now stoopeth to it, and taketh of it in his hand. He saith, The 4th and the 3rd, and the 3 in himself square, the age of nature. Edward Kelly says, Now all is gone, all is clear, and nothing appeareth. D said, At length after this, Edward Kelly heard from the foresaid corner of the study the noise as of a ship tossed and jolted of the waves of the sea. After that, Edward Kelly saw one that stood all covered in a white cloud by the easterly quarter of the table, above the table, and the air he said. Beate sunt quibus veritas spes eo consolatio est, eo quibus emanaria majora in serviunt in virtutudine eo potentia aeterni eo omnipotentis die. Edward Kelly said, Now the cloud covereth him, and abideth. Now he cometh out of the cloud, and steppeth 3 steps forward. And the cloud standeth behind him, like a garment. At length he said, Then is their blessedness eternal life. Edward Kelly says, I never saw him before. He is covered with a red-purple robe, such as my Lord here useth, but made somewhat like a surplice. His head is covered with feathers like down, his face like a child's face. His neck is bare, his legs are most white. His garment cometh not, but at the small of his leg. He standeth upon a white, great round table, like crystal, all written with letters infinitely. On the middle of the table is a great swelling or pommel of the same substance the table is of. Upon that pommel he standeth. He hath nothing in his hands, neither can his hands be discerned. His robe hath no sleeves. He said, Non possum deatias videre servus sum altissime novitarum in paradiso spiritus sum sapientia nomen meam est alvaga. Edward Kelly says, He maketh a cross upon the place where he standeth. Nalvage. I don't, because we have the J as separate, so I, Nalveg, you could give it the Enochian pronunciation, Nalvagi, but anyways, Nalvagi said, Beatus Pater, Beatus Filius, Beatus Spiritus Sanctus, Bea ta mensuratio verum eo substantiarum omnium visibilium eo invisibilium. Verus eo sanctus est Deus in promissis suis eo veritas adjus talis est. Edward Kelly said, Hereupon he showeth a round globe. Calum mundus, angelus homo nihil eo non nihil, eo omne quod est vel erit nihil est, nisse splendor gubernatio eo unitas die, qua a centro formata est ab initio ad tempus mensuratum eo in perpetuum laus tibi in calo, laus tibi in terra, triumphus tibi in inferno, ubet non est laus nec gloria, qua jam infusa sentio dacio sed modo lingua eo idiomata pradicto. Edward Kelly said, He turneth round when he speaketh. Nalvagi said, Omnis caro maxime est sibi applicabilis in natura eo perfectione sua ecator revelanda sunt, maesteria die non ut adiantur sed ut intelligantur. Edward Kelly says, now come a great smoke. Now I see nothing, now he is gone. A voice said, here. Edward Kelly says, I see no body. Methink that two speak, or else this voice giveth an echo. The unpatient and troublesome spirits of indignation, wrath, blasphemy, and disobedience continually contend, bear arms, and ravenously run willfully against those that are messengers and angels of the dignified and triumphant glory, which is now the ministry of him that is dignified in his Father. I would think they mean angels, but it's angles. To the honor and glory of those that are humble and faithful in obedience, yea, those wicked ones keep open wars against God and his anointed in heaven and earth. Only for the safeguard and true keeping of such as love God and follow his commandments, rejoice in truth, and are visited in righteousness. Dark speeches to the flesh, but words mixed with humane understanding, wherein, briefly, I will manifest the envy between the wicked in respect of their enviousness, and of those that are justified in heaven, which fight in the government of man's soul, in the creatures of God, not in that they know they shall overcome, but in that they are envious and proud from the beginning. Their contention is evidently amongst you, which are joined to the service of God, not as deservers, but as chosen, whose vessels and power are best known unto God. And one of the things is the inner and outer struggle. You operate your inner struggle according to the outer struggle.